Mm, mhm. I mean, the first time it worked, but I mean, honestly, you should know that. You should know that. Hey, well, well, you would have to kind of be more cognitive about that. Mhm. Man, tomorrow's Friday. That's crazy. Or Thursday. You got 2 more days in this trading session or in this trading week. Uh, mm, mm. Oh yeah. If we see one more fall, this range is I don't that shit is not holding. That range is not going to hold for sure. It's not going to. I mean, we've had bulls bounce off that range multiple times. Multiple times they bounced off this level. 525. Where am I getting this from? Hmm. Yeah, 525 has just definitely been that level for a while. The market just loves that 525 level. It just loves it. It's been bouncing off it forever. It's been bouncing and rejecting off of 525 forever. You got the gap down underneath this level. You got support, gap, resistance, pop, drop, stop run. I mean, this they just love this level. And the Bears just can't seem to break it, unfortunately for them. So now we got the market making its way up. Like I said, I think we go to 22K, at least 22K5. We could see a rejection there. We could see a rejection at 22K5. Um, Depending on how the Bulls hold this thing up, if they hold this thing up, we could make a run up to 22,200. I do think we'll probably see some resistance, maybe at 2250, maybe, but 22.1, yeah, maybe. We'll see. But 21,195, that's a good area. If I was a bull, that would probably be an area where I take profits. And same thing for this level on the ES 102. 102. That looks like a good level to go short or try for a short, play a short. Okay. Well, we'll see how tonight plays out. I am expecting a potential drop. Maybe the Bulls come back in around 8:45. Mm. 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 That's interesting. I didn't do it. Mm. Not bullish range. Not bullish range. Right? Bullish range. No, like I said, 29 points to the downside. Forty-one points. So, mm, so today was another bullish range day. It was another bullish range. The market moved up, traded 340 points to the downside. And then the Nasdaq moved up 352 points to the upside. Mm. Yeah, probably just like see a pattern. Mm. Mm. All right, so February 10th was that Monday? Yeah. I mean, that would kind of be weak, bro. That would be weak. I shouldn't have that much power or influence. That's just weak. I mean, it's not even necessary. Like, it's really not. Yeah, just have this. That should be a lot better. You can kind of see the moves that this thing makes before. Mm. Mm. Okay. Well, I'm looking at so right now, usually before well at the start of each stream, I'm usually just taking down the data of what happened in the market today. And when you actually sit back and when you take the data and you actually just review what happened, you realize that, I mean, obviously today we had a 340 point move down, a 340 point move to the downside, and the entire day the market moved up 352 points to the upside, literally taking out the pre-market high, and obviously we're going up higher. So at this point, it's no question. The Bears failed. The Bears failed to take out this range that we was talking about since last week. You can see that not only did they fail once to take out this range, but they failed twice to take out this range. And because they failed, and when I recognized them failing to take out this range this morning, this is why I went long at the start of yesterday's morning stream, because I just knew that if they weren't going to break this, then the bulls were going to step in. And sure enough, you can see that the bulls literally took over the session yesterday. Uh, we talked about this area right here. We talked about this area right here, about how if the bulls broke out of this downward trend and they found support at this range, that we was going to at least see a move up to 800. I wasn't surprised that the Nasdaq exceeded my expectation. She always seems to do that. She always seems to exceed where I think she's going to go. And she definitely showed herself. She took out the CPR, the high. At CPI, she took out the CPI high, and she went back. Now, I do plan on setting a limit here. Actually, let me just do that now. Let me do that now. Because I do think that if we do see a pullback into that area, we should get at least a reaction from the market. All right, so I'm gonna take that trade on my Tradeify account, because honestly, I don't even know why I got it. Um, All right, so what should I do with this one? Should I make a new? All right, so what's the Lone Ranger? I think, yeah, so it's the Lone Rangers. That's the one right there. Let me just do one. Yeah, I don't know what this one does. 243. 243 ticks. All right, so that's 60 points. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because this is CPI's high right here. So I do think that we should see a move back down. And if we do see a move back down, this is where the bulls will potentially come back in. I'm pretty sure CPI high is going to be what's the word I'm looking for? A desirable entry. There it goes. Because you can see that this level was resistance twice. You can see that the bears came in, they knocked it down, they came right back at this same level and knocked it right back down again. So this is definitely going to be a situation where resistance turns into support. And I do expect for the bears to come back, or the bulls to come back in at this area. So I'm just going to set a limit here. Wait for the market to come to me. There's no point chasing it once it's already broken out of a previous range. Not only did it break out above this one, but it broke out above this high too. So we got price breaking above two highs, which that buying the retest should be profitable. Now, the only way for this to not be a good trade is if this thing just goes straight up to 22K. Obviously, 22K is the current market objective for the bulls right now. They missed it last Friday, I believe, and they were making an attempt this entire week to get to this level. So if we do see a move to 22K, then I would not take this long, because I don't know how deep of a pullback that price is going to need before new buyers step into the market. Shit. We could potentially see the market taking their profits, and because we've been V bottoming, I mean, unless they buy it here at 820, 800 in this range right here, that's the only range that I see. There's no real support. So if we do see a move down and this range gets touched again, then yeah, we're going to 2,900 at least. Now we're going down. And Yeah, so we're going down if price breaks below this range or below this level again. We're going down. I doubt 400 holds. If we break 400, I mean, I really don't see resistance or I don't see support nowhere. Probably 21, 100. Yeah, probably like 2150 to 2100. Probably somewhere in this range. So that's what I'm gonna keep my eyes out for. Yeah, PPI is tomorrow as well. What's up, Stoogie? He says, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Uh, I definitely agree. I think, what level that is? 965, 969. This is definitely a trap. I would not short this. This is definitely a bear trap above these highs. 965 was those highs. That's definitely a trap if you try to short up there. Why do I believe that this is a trap? Because you already got a big move down from 965. You got price V bottoming, retesting this high, and we did see some more sellers here. There was enough sellers here to knock price down, but as you can see, it wasn't enough sellers to break this range. That tells me, that gives me a clue that if price gets back up here, that the market, the participants in the market will highly likely try again, but it's highly unlikely that there's enough sellers here to knock this market right back down. It might be a rejection to trap in some bears, but it's highly likely that this area is going to get squeezed and we probably see 2205. That's the number I'm looking for. 2205 is the number I'm looking for, the level I'm looking for, somewhere around that area. And then that's when I think we'll probably see a rejection, potentially a pullback, not a reversal, but a pullback. And it's looking like 906, 907 might be a good area for the bulls to come back in and buy it again. Is it like 907? Yeah, or 90, 880? Yeah, probably like 880 probably. Yeah, 880's been a level of resistance and support. So probably like 880 is probably the level that I'll look for. Yeah, I'll look for 880. Yeah, that's the level I would look for a pullback. But we do got PPI tomorrow. So usually the only time PPI is a market mover is if it comes before CPI. Usually we see the reaction that we would see with CPI, and then CPI, there's going to be a reaction to CPI, but not as big as if it came first, because obviously PPI and CPI are like brothers and sisters. If one report is good, then it's highly likely that the other one is going to say the same thing. That's how they usually work. And the market can speculate. It's like, well, if this data is, if the PPI is saying this, then it's highly likely that the CPI will say this. And the market tends to react that way. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it did. Yeah. hmm I mean, it wasn't as crazy. I mean, we talked about that recovery before we ended the stream this morning. Uh, if today, I mean, this move right here, I mean, let's talk about it. It was literally one of those instances where you had to really listen to what the charts was telling you and not trade with your heart. I know a lot of people were so short. I looked at the thing with Bookmap chat, and obviously they're going to stay super short. And we talked about if we saw the market break out of this downward trend, and if the bears did not hold this level right here, this was the make or break for the bears this morning. And we talked about that. If they did not knock this, or if they didn't knock price down here, then we was going to see a move to 800. It's just that simple. I have yet to see the market short squeeze and then dump. I have yet to see it. I'm not saying it hasn't happened or that it won't happen in the future, but I have yet to see this thing squeeze up and then the bears regain control, because you got to think, if one side of the market is getting squeezed out of their positions, then that means they're no longer in control. And if they're no longer in control, then your bias should flip. And we talked about it. That's one of the hardest things that I had to accept, is my heart, when it comes to these charts, my heart is wrong. My heart is wrong when it comes to these charts. The chart is always right. Your heart is always wrong. And unfortunately, we just have to get over that if we want to make money in this market. And but it's interesting that once we got back up into this range right here, the bulls, I mean, once you saw that the bulls were using previous resistance as support, I mean, this follow through was inevitable, because if it's not going down, then that means that it's going to go up, especially if you got bears aggressively trying to sell into it and they're failing. And as they're failing to push price down, they're just fueling this market to go up higher. And all price has to do is tap into it, come back and tap into it again, and then we see this squeeze. So, I mean, at this point, it's just basic price action. It's just in the moment, especially if you're in a position short, it's hard as humans to admit that it's hard for us to change, unfortunately. It really is. Change is one of the things that us humans absolutely hate. Even though we cry about change, we don't really want it. We just don't, unfortunately. So that's why things don't change. That's why things stay the same. Now, as things change the same, like a good example is like TV shows. They all tell the same story with different characters. As long as they're telling the same story, us humans, we love that. And but we like to change clothes. We like to, okay, this time it's the same story, but it's Star Wars, or it's the same story, or it's vampires and werewolves kissing each other, or robots from the future coming back and destroying us. I mean, it's as long as it's the same story. You got your protagonist, the side character, the antagonist, a mission, objective, a backstory. As long as that stays the same, we don't care. But I say that to say this. It took me a while to actually accept that too, because I mean, if you've been with me from the start, once my bias is set, kind of like what another Mohammed pointed out and everybody else pointed out, is once I had a bias, it was hard to see it any way else or any other way. It was hard for me to see the market any other way when I had a bias. And it was something that I had to really work on. I had to really sit back and say, man, there's times where I just have a bias that the market is going to do something, and my heart is so passionate about, man, today should be a bearish day. It should be a bearish day. If it pops, I'm going to short it. I'm a short. As the market is aggressively shooting to the upside, my heart wants to short it. And that was one of the emotional errors, emotional challenges that I had to get over, and just see the market for what it is, regardless of what I believe it should do. So, when I came back to my charts and saw this, I was like, man, me a couple of months ago would have shorted the shit out of this, instead of looking at the chart structure, like the trend lines, this level right here, how they broke above it and they weren't able to even get back down here. Um, the EMAs all sloping up. I would have ignored all of these clues because I wanted the market to short. So, mm. And also yesterday I was able to get 2 payouts from my accounts. So those are my two payouts for the year, and we'll have many more, many more. This year, I'm not going to fall for the trap that I fell for last year. I've shared with you guys that I was on a payout streak and I just got bored with it. And because I got bored, I started gambling to spice up trading a little bit, I guess. I won't fall for that. The reason why I fell for it is because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have an objective. The objective was to get a payout and nothing more. And because I got the payout, trading really didn't have a purpose. And so I turned it into me just gambling and yeah, but I won't do that this year. The goal now is to get a payout, but also make sure that I can help anybody that joins the stream, help them get a payout as well. That's the objective. I think I make it very clear why I get into trades, what I expect from the market in terms of the patterns that it forms and where it should, at least the minimum amount of where it should go. I mean, the market always exceeds my expectations, but all you really need, especially on the Nasdaq, on one mini contract, I think is what, for $720, all you need is 33 points. The Nasdaq straight up sneezes that. All you need is 33 points to make $720, and you can consistently do that every day. Every day. Yo, congratulations about that, man. Congratulations. Shoshana, I've been trading futures for I don't know, since 2000, I forgot. 2022? I think 22. I'm not sure, honestly. I think, yeah, because I think I joined YouTube December 22. Yeah, I think it was December 22. And yeah, Alfred. Yeah, Alfred is right. I used to fight the trend to gamble. And because I was stuck in my ways in terms of I want the market to do what I want it to do versus just letting the market tell me what it's doing so I can get in and be profitable. But Alfred, yeah, with that yeah, so hippie farmer, like I said, that's gonna be my goal. Like I stream in the morning and like I said, this channel is I'm not here to call out trades or be a what is that shit called? Um what is it called? Like a call out? I don't do call outs. I just share my bias, what I expect to see from the market. And if we have the same bias, well, shit, we'll be in the trade together, win or lose. Win or lose, we'll be in the trade together. I'm not here to tell anybody what they should do with their money. But I will say that 9 times out of 10, my bias is correct. And the reason for that is because I'm always looking at this chart. I'm always looking to see what it's doing. I'll put the time in. But I will say, I know I said this before, but the trend lines, I think that right there really it elevated my game. I'm so glad that I'm using trend lines now. I don't know why I started using them, but just randomly I just started using them, and it's really elevated my trading. Really has. And I'm starting to see the power of wow, because I mean, going back to this little piece of price action this morning, this thing literally came back and literally tapped this trend line, kissed it, and exploded higher. Kissed it. Like, I mean, it was perfect. And if I didn't have this trend line drawn, I probably would have fell for the trap that the market was going to still go short. But with this support trend line in the way, now I know what to look for when price revisits this area. If I see a break, then I know that, okay, the bears got it. But if I see the market breaks and then immediately closes back in that trend line, then I know I should go long. I know I should go long. Trend lines has definitely been that missing piece in my game for sure. For sure. It's been my missing piece of my game. So now I want to see because yesterday, I think this is another good example. Yesterday. Uh this trend line right here. I ignored this trend line right here and I paid the price. I was able to get my money back this morning. I mean, if y'all was with me last night, y'all saw that I was down about 3K because I made the mistake of trading against a trend line break. But look at this. Look how the market made this trend line. It broke it. It came back and look where it tested. I mean, that right there is just that is not a coincidence. That's done purposely. And look what happens after they rejected at the bottom of that prior support trend line, and then they turned around and used it as resistance and they sold down. And then right here, they came right back up, and then we got that move down. I won't make that mistake again. I will not make this mistake again. Last night, my bias got the better of me because I thought that the market was going to go for 22K before CPI, or my bias was that we was going to see a move up, probably to 22K, and then CPI would drop us down. But obviously, we didn't get that. We didn't get that shit at all. So I won't fight against the trend line no more. You know, y'all don't got to worry about that because I ain't going to do it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Alfred, Alfred is right on the money. Is right on the money. Greed will blow your accounts. I feel that Top Step, I feel like every firm should have what Top Step has, a lockout feature, a personal daily loss limit, and a personal maximum daily profit. And it locks you out. Everybody should have received this email from Top Step, but now they added a feature to where before, because you can always go back in and change your risk management settings if your preferred loss limit and maximum daily profit isn't hit. You can always go back and update it. Now it's to the point where once you start your day, you set it and they won't let you go back in and change it. And I think that right there is probably one of the best features in this trading game. just locking you out so you don't go on tilt. At least not in the account. Accept the loss and come back tomorrow. You said they also added a trailing max profit. Uh, so how does that work? Because that's probably something that I need to utilize, especially with the Nasdaq. I'll be up $500-600, and just because it didn't hit my target, it'll go right back down to zero. So I'm going to make the assumption that if you have a max trailing profit, you said it trails your daily loss limit up. Hmm. You said it trails your daily loss limit up. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it took a while. So I guess as an example, let's just say that my max daily profit is what, 500, and I don't want to lose 250 of it. So if I continue the trade, but I lose 250 of that, then it locks me out. Is that how it works? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, right now that's what's keeping Top Step competitive in my opinion. Right now, they're the only firm that's offering something like that. That's going to help you with the emotional game of trading. I think that is probably like one of the best features right now. All right. So, you know what? This is what I think is going to most likely happen because we didn't see a pullback. We did not see a pullback at all. I think what the market is going to do here is potentially break above 925. We'll probably get a move up to like uh 960, 970. We'll get a pullback to trap in these bears, and then we're going to have price bounce at R2 up to 22k, stopping all the bears that are still short up here to 22k. Because shit, how else are they going to run stops if they don't trap bears? It's like Apex trailing drawdown, huh? Oh, okay. I can see how. I mean, that'll probably be very helpful for me, honestly. I have no problem letting the. I have no problem if it hasn't hit my target yet. I really don't see a problem with it coming back down to zero. I mean, I don't like it, but as long as it don't hit my stop, I'm willing to accept that. I just don't like getting in and out of trades. I just don't like it. No, you gotta do like 15. I wish it was. I mean, it would have been nice to have like an overnight market, like a market that moves overnight. All right, so I'm gonna definitely have to look at this range chart because I mean, obviously this range chart is completely different from the actual chart itself. Huh. Man, this range chart actually looks decent. I mean, the price action is kind of straightforward here. Huh. Versus a tick chart here. Hmm. So I need to understand what the hell a range chart is and why it looks completely different from a regular chart. I'm gonna have to look at that. Actually, let's look at that. Okay. It really doesn't look no different on a Nasdaq chart. There's really no difference. But apparently, a range chart on gold is cheating. Apparently, this is cheating right here. I mean, this thing is straightforward. Like how can you mess this up? This is cheating. Nah, me and gold broke up a long time ago. I go out with her cousin, Bitcoin, and we lived happily ever after ever since. You said a lot. Nah, I broke up with gold. I'm with her cousin now. I'm with Bitcoin. I mean, I still look at gold. I still look at her social media profile and shit. I mean, I still look at it, see what she doing. But nah, we broke up a long time ago. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Mm. That sneaky link with gold. Mm. That's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a drop there, though. I wouldn't be surprised. Mm. Bitcoin, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Bro, it's only you. I don't trade nothing else. I don't trade nothing else. I don't know what Alfred talking about. Uh, oof. Mm. Honestly, we'll see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Hmm. I'm starting to actually see another a pattern. Usually, if we see a move up at the start of the session, we'll see a move down, and then we'll see a bounce towards the end of the session. But usually, if we see a move down, for the most part, we see a move up. We do have a few. We do have a few days where that has happened, where we see a move down, we see the move up, and we see a rejection. But for the most part, we usually just go up and see a rejection towards the end of the day. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a level 735. I'll probably pop it up 735 and then drop it. Mm. I guess we can look at ES. We haven't looked at ES in a while. Yeah, I don't care for that. Probably. Mhm. Yeah, we'll probably get there. And I'll probably sell the retest back down. Yeah, probably see that. I'm pretty sure it does, Alfred. I mean, honestly, we're almost there. We are almost there. I would actually be surprised if we don't see it in overnight, honestly. It looks like you got market participants ready to sell at 100, but we probably get a move to like 105 potentially. I don't think like that. Yeah, the ES will probably come back up into this range right here. Probably see a short squeeze and then a drop. Probably back down. Probably down at 80 or something like that. Hmm. Hmm. Mm, mm. Well, Nate, because I know that if I get in long now, I won't be getting the best entry. I would be gambling if I were to get in now. So I have to wait for the pullback. Because if I don't, well, I can potentially be donating money to the market. I'm not that generous. I'm not that generous. Mm, mm. $8.50. Mm. Hippie farmer. The green line is actually VWAP. The gray line is the 200 EMA. The red line is the 50 EMA, and the gold line is, or the yellow line, is the 21 EMA. And those are only EMAs that I use. I find that these EMAs work on every market that I put them on. Every market that I put them on. They work on every market. I'm not saying that no other EMA doesn't work, but for me, all these EMAs, in my opinion, are the only ones that you need. Every other EMA is noise, in my opinion. Mm, okay. Yeah, and another thing, Nate, 925, you'll be kind of gambling with 925 as well. Uh, the Nasdaq has already made its move. Unfortunately, they found support. Well, I mean, if you're in a personal account, obviously If you were in at 765, I mean, I still wouldn't add up here, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It would take some drawdown, obviously, but uh, the next best option, obviously, was this pullback and having prior resistance turn into support. I mean, if you were in down here, then this would have been the best entry to go long to test potentially 925. And honestly, I think we get to at least like 950, 950, 960. I think this is where the market wants to engineer liquidity and trap in some bears. Unless it's just going to run past it and touch 22K. And then we see a move down. Honestly, what I should do is also set a sell limit up here as well, just in case we don't get this first. I'm pretty sure we get this. I'll probably put it at 22 right there. I think that's good right there. That's good. So I got my ranges, or I got my limits set. These are the areas where I think the market is going to respond. So I'm just going to set my limits there. And they don't contradict each other either. I will be out of this way before the market comes back down and potentially tap this level. So I'll be out of this way before that. Bandit Blitz. The yellow line is the 21 EMA. The red line is the 50. The gray line is the 200 EMA, and the green line is VWAP. Mhm. The market. Oh, so you said the NQ sounds depressed. I mean, uh, there goes that move to 25. All right, let's see what they do here. We got some profit taking right here, but I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it. Yeah, I think this thing shoots past that. We'll see though. I mean, if we do see a move down, I mean, I would love to get filled so I can actually be a part and participate in this move up. I would absolutely love that, but I mean, if not, then I'm not going to cry about it or nothing. But we do got some profit taking here. But the structure does not suggest that we even see a rejection here. We could see a move back down to 880, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. I think the real money is them trapping the bears here, getting them all nice and short, and then popping them up. Mm. So how's that been working out for you though? How's that been working out for you? And yeah, definitely the ES should be the guidance for your NQ trades. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Because if the ES ain't going to do it, then the Nasdaq surely won't. Now we do have some instances where the ES will chop while the Nasdaq goes and claims higher areas of resistance and then drop with the ES. But you're not going to see a continuation if the ES ain't ready or if she's not set up for a move higher. So I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I always it just seems like every time when I'm looking at the pre-market, the market don't do nothing. But when I'm not looking at the pre-market, the market does all kind of crazy shit like it did this tonight with this big 80 point seem like move to the upside. And now it's just floating. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right, Alfred. Honestly, I would never recommend anybody to buy the breakout when the retest is always going to be a more lucrative trade. Just wait for the retest. I mean, I know that the Nasdaq is a drug. It is one of the most painful things in the world. If you want to torture somebody, especially a trader, take away their mouse when the Nasdaq is breaking out and they can't trade it. They can't hop in and then let them watch it. That's torture. And if it's torture without your mouse, just imagine how it feels when you have your mouse and you can do something about it. So I think that's what really trips people out about the Nasdaq because it's like, man, I gotta get in, I gotta get in, I gotta buy. It's not coming back. I've learned that it comes back. It 9 times out of 10 it comes back, and buying that retest of that breakout, uh, you get rewarded for your patience for sure. The only time that I see that buying that retest does not work is when the market is trending and it has an objective. Once price reaches its objective, if you see price, so a good way to notice if the market is on a mission is if it's just trading through supply. Like if the bears are shorting at resistance and they're just constantly getting stopped out and the market is just going and not pulling back at all, then that is a good sign to that either try to get in as low as possible, even though it's trending, maybe a pullback, try to get in or sit on your hands. because it's trying to get somewhere. Shorting the market will only fuel this market higher. You gotta kind of have an idea of where the market wants to go. And once you figure out where the market wants to go, that's where you can put your short limit. And then even then, that's a gamble because you just don't know. So those are the only times where I see when buying the breakout does not work, because once it gets to its objective, let's just say it uses as an example. Actually, it's kind of already doing that now. There it is. It's kind of doing it now. You see how it's just going through these areas. I mean, there was a small little pullback here and it's going. I'm pretty sure there's going to be bears trying to sell that, but it's going to potentially keep going. It's going to potentially sell this, but it's going to potentially keep going. We could see a move up here, but you know what? I'm gonna stay. I think 2205 is probably the objective. Getting up to 22K is probably the objective for right now. And then once we see them reach the objective, that's when all of a sudden all the resistance becomes super resistance and price just slices through it like butter. If you know what, Nate, I think we was talking about that the other day, man. I think we was talking about it. Humans are very weird. We get addicted to anything, and losing is one of them. It's one of them. You get addicted to losing. And when you start winning, that's how crazy it is. Just listen to the sentence. When you're addicted to losing, you begin to self-sabotage when you win. Winning becomes uncomfortable. And so when you start to win, you start to think, oh shit, what's happening? When's the other shoe going to drop? Is something wrong? You start questioning, second guessing. That's when the self-sabotage comes back in, because you're addicted to losing. So you'll go right back to losing. You'll start feeling comfortable again. You won't second guess your losing position. Isn't that crazy? You'll second guess a winning position, but you won't second guess your losing one. I will say that the main reason why I've enjoyed trading is because it's really shown a lot of contradictions that I face in terms of, I guess, what I say I want and what I really want, being to identify certain behaviors and making the moves to change them. Trading has really shown me who I really am. I thought that I wasn't a greedy person. Apparently, the market showed me otherwise. I am very greedy when it comes to making this money. Nothing is enough. Nothing is enough, especially when this market has infinite possibilities of how much money you can make. Man. And then when I got into gambling, I thought that I wasn't a gambler. I will say that I have a lot of self-control. So if I didn't have that self-control, then it would probably be worse. I kind of give myself room to be a gambler, but obviously, as I've shared before, as long as I'm not touching money that supports this lifestyle that I live and provide for my family, then I will allow myself to gamble any disposable income. But I cannot touch that money at all. If I get to that point, then I'm gonna have to wait. I haven't gotten to that point, but I know better than to even play games like that. A lot of people depend on me, and I would hate to have to come as like, yeah, you know, like how you depend on me to do these certain types of things. Well, unfortunately, I lost control and gambled all that, and now we're SOL. Yeah, that's something that would be very shameful to me and unforgivable. And I wouldn't allow myself to get to that point. But that disposable income, shit, hey, it's disposable for a reason. And shit. But um yeah, that really shed a light, like, man, it's like, okay, I see why people get caught up in gambling. I see. I watched a couple of videos of. I'm pretty. I mean, this video is pretty popular. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure if I show it, I mean, y'all guys seen it. It's this black dude, and he's so broken. His gambling addiction is so bad that he's selling everything that he owns to gamble. Let me see if I can find it. He's selling everything that he owns. This guy right here. Let me see if I. Uh, where is it at? This guy right here. You can see it in his face. Gambling has destroyed his life. I mean, look, it just seems like every gambler has the same face. Look at their face. It's the same face. I can't, I'm so deep into this hole that I can't get out of it, or they can't get out of it. They just can't. It's like once an addiction grabs you, for whatever reason, as humans, we hug it tighter and we become comfortable with the addiction. And it becomes a cognitive dissonance to do anything other than what we're addicted to. That's why I found it interesting. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with Squid Games. A lot of people was coming up with theories that he's addicted to winning. And once I saw it from that point of view and started watching Squid Games again, yeah, it kind of is like that. He's addicted to winning. He didn't felt like he won, and so he went back to do it again. Like, why would you put yourself in a situation? He knows the games that were being played. He knows it. He knows that at any point in time, I mean, the objective is for at least one person to make it out. And that as you progress into the games, you're killing people that you care about because only one person can win. So if you form allegiances with other people, you're going to have to kill them to win. So it's like he's addicted to winning. He gambled with the Russian roulette. Someone said that instead of just killing him, because I mean, the dude had the card on him the whole time, instead of getting the sure win, he played the game. He wanted to win. He's addicted to that feeling of winning. And I was like, wow. Because I was, when I was watching it, I was like, dude, he's still gambling. I mean, I was like, dude, he's still gambling. It's not like he stopped. But yeah. Yeah. I would highly recommend it. Gambling is one hell of a drug. Is one hell of a drug, man. Like I said, it really, when I first was introduced to it, like it really sent me to a dark spot, and I was like, wow, I did not know that this was something that I could become a victim to. And I don't use that word victim a lot. Honestly, that word victim is not even in my vocabulary because I'm not no victim, but you can become a victim to this thing, man. It's deep, and once it gets a hold of you, it's not going to let you go. You'll hug it. It'll grab you, and you'll turn around and you'll embrace it, and you'll hug it, and you won't let it go. It's kind of like a crack addiction too. Cocaine, like crack, like the same way crack grips you. That's the same. Like it seems like it's the same thing with gambling. A crack and gambling must release the same chemicals in your body because it seems like they both have the same effect once they get a hold of you. You just won't let it go, even though you know it's killing you. Even though, I mean, you start thinking about, man, it first starts with getting money from family and friends, and then once your family and friends cut you off because, oh, I'll pay you back. When I hit it big, I'll pay you back. You start stealing from them. You start to do anything and everything to get money to gamble it away. And it's a nasty thing. Smith showed me this other one. I had to find it. But this guy, the documentary that this guy had, it was that what he showed me was that one thing that gambling does for people is that on both sides of the coin, people are happy. If you win, you're happy. If you lose, you're happy. You're happy when you lose because you get to gamble some more for another chance to win. If you win, you have more money to gamble with. So it's like win or lose, you're happy. And I think in that same documentary, they had this lady that was playing slots, and she said something along those lines as well. It's like, I just get to keep playing. Win or lose, I'm going to play. I'm just going to hold that slot. Mhm. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be that, man. All right, Alfred. Jack, I mean, well, hmm, I don't think so. Uh, I don't think there's been a time where I said that I would quit trading. I think what you should say is when I'm going to stop doing the things that makes trading unsuccessful. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier in the stream about my bias and disregarding the charts, even though the chart is telling me what direction it wants to trade in. The hardest thing for me was if I have a bias, it's hard to shake that bias. It's hard, even though the market is obviously trending. I mean, if you look at this chart, at what point in time did you think that once the bears failed to knock price down, that they were ever in control? They were never in control once they failed to break underneath this range right here. Once they got squeezed out of their positions, you can see that people took profits at this range, came back at support, bought it right back up. And when they bought it back up, they took out this high. So even if you do see a pullback, look at what it did. It made a higher low right here. If you saw this higher low and shorted right here, well, then you have to say to yourself that right now I'm probably trading on tilt because I'm completely ignoring the obvious structure that's right here. Completely ignoring it. There was no reason to ever go short once once the bears failed. Price was trending. And I say that because, I mean, I did the same thing. I think we all do it. I think we all do it. Our bias is very dangerous when you're on the wrong side. Now, in blackjack, they tell you when you lose, you got to double your next bet to get to break even. That is definitely gambling. That is 50-50. Either you're going to break even or you're going to be down more than you were before. Yeah, depending on where this thing, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but all right, guys. This is gonna. I'm in the stream here. Yeah, it is getting late. It is getting late, but we'll definitely come back and we'll earn some more money tomorrow. But just kind of recap on what I'm going to be looking for. I do expect for a pullback. I mean, as I look at the charts, I want to get in long here, but at the same time, uh, I mean, if price does come back, I think it's going to want to tap into this range. So I'm going to actually move. I'm going to move my. I'm going to move it to 825. I think that's a better entry. I'm going to get in at 825. I mean, we could see a bounce here. I mean, we could, I guess, but if I'm not going to manage this position, then I kind of want to keep this right here. But I do want to keep this sell entry up here though. I'm definitely going to keep that. Um, but all right, guys, we'll definitely come back tomorrow morning and we'll definitely earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody.